let's delve into some dark, mystical magic and learn the history behind voodoo. Have you ever wanted to make a voodoo doll for someone? Maybe one for you to sew its mouth shut and make you stop eating so much? Today, we're going to learn how this idea is a bit incorrect. This Feeback Learnex, and my name is Juan Carlos. Now turn off the lights, light a candle, and get ready for this magical trip into history. Let's go! Let's start with the question, what is voodoo? Popular culture has made us perceive voodoo as dangerous witchcraft. But is there any truth in this? This idea is surrounded by false myths. Many of them derive from popular culture that has reduced voodoo to a twisted form of aggressive magic performed with rag or wax dolls stuck with pins. Voodoo means spirit in the language of the Fon ethnic group. It comes from the word Vudú in that same language, and it comes to mean something like mystical. Voodoo is an animistic religion that believes in the presence of spirits in everything around us. Rocks, plants, animals, everything material in general is charged with an almost divine entity that is constantly in contact with the living. Everything has a soul, powerful, invisible forces that rule the world and life itself, and that clearly manifest themselves to the undead. Voodoo worships creative energy and does not make a separation between the material world and the transcendent. Unlike other religions, voodoo does not have a single book. Precisely this fact, the fact that there are no written sources of mythology, theology, or philosophy, has been one of the impediments for a unity around what has been produced that is considered voodoo and for its expansion in a unitary way. Within the religions of West Africa, there is a fine line between what is voodoo, strictly speaking, or simply specific religions of the Yoruba, Ewe, Nina, Kabie, or Fon ethnic groups. All of them follow the same pattern with very subtle differences. But it is true that voodoo has given rise to many other religions that do not present notable differences with the original voodoo. The place where these other religions have developed is in the Caribbean, South America, and some areas of southern North America. In the ships loaded with African slaves that left for the new continent, different religions and different mythologies from different countries were mixed. Traditional beliefs such as voodoo were banned, but so that their gods would not be betrayed and could continue to count on them, the followers of voodoo made a fusion between tradition and the new Catholic saints, practicing their religion in secret and thus avoiding being hunted by the colonizers. Voodoo from Haiti, Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, Louisiana, Santeria in Cuba, Macumba, Candomblé in Brazil, and also the voodoo of black magic and Satanism emerged from these mixtures. For Africans, voodoo is also a set of ethical rules that serve to hold the community together. The community formed from the oldest to the newcomers, passing through all the ancestors. The relationship with the latter is the main basis of the voodoo religion in Africa. It is to them, and not to the gods, that you can ask for help or collaboration. It is said, when an old man dies, a library dies, not only in terms of the knowledge accumulated in the body of old people, but also because with the death of one of the elders of the town, the tradition falters, even if it is for a few moments. In West African religions, women have traditionally been designated as witches and men as sorcerers. These are neither more nor less than those who possess the knowledge and ability to observe the cosmic forces of nature consciously and methodically, but who use that knowledge for selfish use with disastrous results for the community. For this reason, witches and wizards are considered an internal threat to the community and are expelled if detected. In voodoo, there is no god of evil, nor is there a god specifically of good. it was a mixture with Western religions that gave rise to other types of cults, more likely linked to Satanism, such as Vudú. Unfortunately, this type of black magic is one that has ended up imposing itself in the collective imagination, even though its origin and the great part of those who practice voodoo only contemplate its positive creative part. Voodoo could simply be defined as an attempt on the part of man to understand the nature of the forces that act among the living and to identify their manifestations in order to protect himself from such powers and, as far as possible, use them. Now that we come to an end, what about the voodoo dolls? In African voodoo, there are no dolls that establish this type of sympathetic magic with a person. That kind of dolls are more typically of hoodoo. What does exist is another type of human-shaped objects called puwen, which have a magical protective effect. They are usually placed on altars for the gods or as a tombstone or memorial for the dead. That was amazing! Did you enjoy learning about this topic as much as I did? Remember to take note of what you didn't catch so that you can talk to your learning advisor about it. This was Feeback Learnex. My name is Juan Carlos, and I'll see you next week.